The 1971 movie Duel was an iconic movie and featured a pretty neat train scene with the Southern Pacific Railroad here in this whole scene. It's also one of my favorites, and because of that, I wanted to add it to the HO layout and represent that movie. In this video series, we're going to show how I did that, finding the 3D prints and building the semi myself. I hope that you enjoy this series, and we're going to get into it with part 1 here. In the meantime, enjoy this clip from the movie and watching the Southern Pacific train go by. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are working on the HO scale semi from the movie Duel. It's one of my favorite movies involving vehicles, and I've looked for this design for over a year, and somebody finally released the design that you can buy on Colts 3D. And so I went ahead and bought it, scaled it down to print an HO scale, and you can see I have the trailer and the semi here that I'm working on. If you want to know how to do the 3D printing on this, there's a different video that I have on my YouTube channel. I will link it in the description below. It's basically the same process. It just shows it using a couple cars. As you can see, there's other projects around that I'm working on, designs from Colts as well that I'm working on making right now. So apologize for the mess, but we'll show you kind of some of the next steps and what's going on. I already put together some pieces here on the trailer. You can see the underside is done right there. Ignore the hole. That was from me making a mistake on supports on that, and so not a big deal there. But we have that ready to be, these have been primed. It's ready to be painted next, so that's exciting. This is the frame of the Duel semi. You can see it's in pieces. We have the cab interior right here that we're going to paint by hand. It will slide into the cab, and then I'll have to add in some windows in there, I think, myself by hand too. And then here's all the parts for all of the frame. Frame is going to be flat black, and the whole body, so the trailer and the cab and fenders, is going to be this linoleum deck brown. You can kind of see the color there. That one, judging by pictures that I've seen online and stuff like that, I think that's going to be the closest that I can get for being a decent color compared to the original model. So, when doing these, especially in this tiny scale, you have to be careful about cutting them out, cutting the pieces out. You can, in some instances, like the wheels right here, you can just kind of twist and they will come out nicely. So these are our front wheels. And over here off to the side, I have our rear wheels right there. So these are the wheels for the Duel semi itself. We're just going to set those over to the side. I want to now slowly and carefully take out some of these other parts. There are headlamps, turn signals, mirrors in here like that. There's a few more. Over here are some horns. And then we have like the air tanks. This is the box that goes on the back that was really actually for the camera to sit in. And there's the front bumper, and then you see the steps, and so all that. So we're gonna start pulling some of that off here in just a second. I'll show you how we kind of do that. Some of the supports here are already taken care of, so I'm gonna actually just cut into them like this. Get those out of the way because these are just trash, and it'll help me get back to parts that I actually need a little bit better. So this is your front axle support. I'm using nippers. You can see I'm using the flat side down to come in and just really gently kind of clip under. We want to be careful because at this scale everything gets really fragile, and you can glue stuff back together with super glue, so don't feel too bad if something bad happens. Let's see. Sometimes you have to kind of re-angle how you get in here. And then anything that we can't quite reach, we'll come in with the knife, and we will use a hobby knife to get in there. I used a mix of medium supports and lightweight supports on this one, just so that it would be a little bit easier. There you go. Front one's off. You can see there's still some pieces left over. We'll just kind of peel those off and use the nippers to cut those. But the medium supports worked out pretty well. I'll use those on key areas to keep things from warping as much as possible, and then use the smaller supports elsewhere. So this is front. This is going to go onto the frame up here. We'll worry about positioning here once we get closer to that step, but at least there's the front side that is done. You can see there's a little bit of warping here. That's okay, especially with these wheels. As long as it super glues in there, nobody's going to notice a thing just like that. So not a big deal there. And super glue is your best friend when it comes to 3D models. So there's that. Let's go for the back ones now. Same thing, just kind of go under. One of the things that I'll do too, and you can see the back ones are different. You have this one that goes through for the drive shaft, and this one that ends for the drive shaft. That's an important thing to pay attention to as you get ready to glue these, and make sure you do them right. The design, unless I missed it, the design did not come with a drive shaft, so we're going to have to probably custom make that. Not a big deal, probably just use some wire that I have that's a bigger scale, or gauge I should say, of wire. Get in here, there we go, it came out. But no big deal on that one. And then the smaller parts that are on here, we'll have to take our time a little bit more with. Another thing that you can do is if you're having troubles getting up here, you can go low like this, and you can get in underneath, and then we'll just deal with the excess pieces left over when it's done. There we go, just like that. Like I said, slow and gentle, because you don't want to break stuff and have to end up gluing more. You can, but it's going to make your life easier if you don't have to worry about that. Alright, so once again, and I have trash under my desk, so if it looks like I'm just throwing stuff on the floor, I'm really not, I promise. That piece is done. Let's move on here. I'm going to get some of the rest of this off camera for you, but I do want to talk about a few of the smaller details. It is better if you can just bring a knife in like this, like your hobby knife, and just kind of very gently work it and pop those pieces off just like that. Like those horns are very fragile, so you want to be careful going on those. Let me work on getting the rest of this off. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay guys, we're back. You can see I have all the pieces out except for the cab, which was the last piece I was working on, as I wanted to make a few mentions of being careful as you go through there because of all of the stuff, and the fact that there is window frames. That's a window frame, that's a window frame, and the center one right there. So to be on the safe side, we're going to use the nippers for part of it. We're just going to go in like this and hit these major ones that are in the way. And then we'll have to end up sticking the knife in, and we'll have to go in there with a knife to kind of cut through some of the rest. This one I added a ton of supports to on purpose because I wanted to make sure that this didn't warp, especially considering that this is, you know, a key component that everybody looks at. So now that those are out of the way, let me move this around a little bit. Take your knife, go in here, and just kind of push a little bit around. They just need to break free. You don't need to cut through them completely. As long as they're starting to break free from the roof. That's all that we really care about in here. And then there's one big one right there. Okay. Now that that's out, now we can do the same. We're going to work on the edges around here. I figured you guys might like this a little better. There's Max meowing if you hear him. He wants to give his input on how these should be cut out. There you go. And it's important to hit the edges so that you don't end up breaking off pieces. Like I just did. You can see I kind of caused that to snap a little bit with that piece right there. That's okay. We can glue it. We can make our own. I'll just set that there on the counter. Okay, there it is. We can make our own. It's not a big deal. Not worried about it. Not to mention all the weathering that we're going to put into this. I don't doubt that anybody's going to notice. Other than all of you who are watching this who just saw that. It's okay. Alright, edges are cut. We're going to kind of lift a little bit, gently kind of twist a little bit. We want to make sure this will start to come out without it being breaking stuff. And it's still kind of protesting. My guess is it's because of pieces under the hood right here. Oh shoot, I just broke another piece off. Okay, we'll go in from the back side. Broke a piece of the grill, which is not what I wanted to do. There we go. Now it's starting to come out. Looks like right in the middle right there is more of it. Here's the broken piece of grill. Let me grab that quick because we're gonna definitely want to re-glue that back in. Yep, there. This piece is right there. There we go. We are free. So, not bad. Minor pieces broken. Throw that away. Put this away. The next step then is some cleanup work. So obviously there's pieces under here that we need to worry about cleaning up. So same thing, I'm just going to come in here with a knife, cut them, we'll dump them out and throw them away. And then, looks like there's a couple more. There we go. There we go. And then for the piece that we broke on the grill, remember me mentioning super glue. This is the super glue I like to use, just in case you're curious. The gel seems to work really well, especially on resin prints like this. It seems to hold really well. We're just going to add some in along the edge like that. We're going to take our tweezers, put this piece in our hand so we can kind of flip it around the way that we want, like this. There we go. And then I'm just going to put that right in there. There we go. We're going to set that upside down so it starts to dry. And then, like I mentioned, cleanup work. Start looking at some of your pieces. Same thing, like there's the mounts that are supposed to be there. But like on this one right here in particular, this piece right here is just an added piece of support that I added. Just go ahead and gently cut that away. This is the exhaust. You want to examine all your pieces. When I was talking about small pieces that you have to be careful with on delicate details, you know, there's the side mirrors like that. I mean, those are very tiny. And so you have to be careful with that. Steps, here's a couple of the air hoses, so no big deal there. Headlights, turn signals, all that fun stuff. I think I bumped one of these. I'm missing a turn signal somewhere. That's okay. I only need two. We're going to use super glue to glue that all on. Give me just a second here and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I would say we're pretty much ready to start gluing. You can see I fixed the grill there, so that looks a lot better. I didn't notice this before, and I don't know if you can really see it very well, but in here are actual like door handles and the manual window cranks. So that's kind of neat. That's a neat feature I didn't know was in there. The designer of this put a ton of detail into it, and yeah, it looks amazing. So we're going to start with some different components here. There's a handful of stuff that I know where it goes, and then some of it we'll have to figure out kind of as we go, but I got a picture up on the computer next to me, so we'll be able to get it. So one thing we're going to do first, oh sorry for the blurriness there. This is your air intake, which is this one. I'm going to put that in. It's going to come into the open hole there and sit right there against, just like that. There we go. We're also going to do the same for the box. And then we'll get a horns put on here on the top. Another thing I like to do is like when you have these small holes, because you can see those are for the horn. I like to use just the tip of these needle tweezers just to go in like that. It kind of widens the hole a little bit. If you have a really pointy hobby knife, you can do the same. You don't really need to put a whole lot in there. It's just a matter of widening it enough that we get the horn to stick in. So there's the rear box. Here we go. Next is the horns on top. My apologies, I keep moving out of the camera. Okay. So here is one of the horns. Back is in. There you go, front is in. Just like that. Not bad. It's coming together. Let's see, next up, I guess we could do the mirror and the headlights and the parking lights. So, parking lights, there's a couple of dots that are pretty minor right here on the tops of the fenders. That's where the parking lights go, turn signal lights, I guess I should say. So we have those over here. They're super tiny. On these really tiny components, I always like to print extra, just because you never know. Like, you never know if you're going to have them fail and they're not going to print right, or you're going to drop them as you're cutting them out, or, you know, anything like that. It's always a good idea just to print some extras. There we go. They're on the fender now. Next up is this one mirror that's on the hood. So we're going to grab one of those. And same thing, we only need one, but I printed 3 because of how tiny these are. I mean, I have, if you want to call it, normal size hands, and you can see the size of that mirror in comparison to my fingers. There we go. Not bad. Headlights are next, and give me a second here. My computer just put a screensaver on, so I'm not exactly sure on the position. Let me look at that. Okay, sorry about that. One thing that I did break when doing this was the bracket for one of these. And so they actually go right here. Right here. And so these are our headlights. Just like that. They're going to come in. Ooh, that's harder than it looks. Get that to stick in there where it should be. Just like that. That's fun. You're going to have to bump that around a little bit as it sits and dries. And then we'll have to do the same to the other side. And my apologies, I know I kind of sometimes keep moving off of the camera as I bring it closer to me. Wow, that happens sometimes. The tweezers get the super glue on them as well, and then the part sticks to the tweezers. Don't do that. There we go. Gravity is not being our friend in that case. And on this one, so this is the other side that I broke on accident. There's the mount for it right there. So we're going to glue the mount on first, and then we'll glue the headlight later. So there's the headlight mount. Just like that. Good enough. Once that dries, then I'll glue the last headlight on right there. It's right there. Okay, so while we're here and kind of on our side, we have one more tank to put on the side right there. Look in here, see which one that is. Yep, okay. It's this one right here. It's a tinier one. There we go. Same thing, we want that to be a nice position, just like that. You can see the nice details up close like this. You can see the latches on the hood covers right there, which is a neat feature. I mean, like, just the amount of detail on here is great. Me scaling it down caused, if you can kind of see it, you can see these ribs. These ridges is just from me scaling it down. It would look a lot smoother in a larger scale, and there's ways you could change that. I could sand it, stuff like that, but to be honest with you, this is going to be on an HO layout kind of in the background, just as like a nod to the movie, and so I don't think anybody's going to see it. Okay, next is, while that's drying, next is mirrors, and so these go on next. These have some pretty nice details as well to them. They have nice backs to them that you can see that are ribbed. That's what it's going to look like. And these go, leave right on there just like that. Okay, looks like there's a couple little cleanup things I need to do. I am seeing where I have some the leftover pin marks on them. So kind of hard to see, but this is from the supports there, 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 and then on this flat piece right there. There you go. Okay, that's better. You know what? This is one of the ones where I'm going to use the pointy reverse ones. These are the reverse grip ones. So then I don't have to constantly put pressure on it, and it will make my life a whole lot easier. Alright, let's see. Did I get that one? I kind of messed that up a little bit. This has a little bit of a broken piece right here, and so I usually just do this, just kind of run it along. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I still see a little bit sticking up right here. My apologies, I keep doing that. There we go. Okay. So now, you want to take your super glue. There's your beads. Along that. And then, this is going to go on right here. There's a little raised ridge that that bottom pad rests on. And now we're going to switch to this pair of tweezers. Or sorry, rests against, I should say. Probably going to need to add more super glue. There we go. Okay. just like that. Okay, flip this over. We're going to do the same. I think this time though I'm going to just add the super glue to where it needs to go. So above there, under there, and right there. I think that'll make it easier for me. And let's see, same thing again. I've got just a couple little marks on the end here. There, that's pretty good. I think that's dry enough now that we can also glue on the last headlight. So let's do that. There we go. Hopefully this just stays. That would be amazing if it did. Okay, it's there. Now we just need to reposition it so it looks right. Oh, come on. Once again, I got super glue on the tweezers, so it keeps wanting to stick to that. I have off camera over here to the right, I have a paper towel that I use, and so when I get super glue on the tweezers, I grab the paper towel with the tweezers and just kind of wrap the paper towel around it and pull, and more or less helps clean it. It's not perfect, but it makes an improvement. Okay. I figured this part would be kind of hard because of the bulkiness of what we're trying to do. It's not going to be perfect like the other side, but it'll be enough to be passing. Oh, come on. This is difficult. This is the downside to working with small pieces. Okay, close enough. We're gonna let that sit and dry. Set that over to the side there. Actually, I'm gonna use that car to hold it up. Okay, while that's drying, one thing I wanted to show you for the next pieces to glue. Here's the interior, by the way. Super nice detail. These steps actually glue onto the bottom. You can see they're angled, and they actually fit into these holes right here. And so that's one of the next things I want to do, is I want to actually glue those steps on, because then the cab is going to sit over this. So let's do that. Same thing. I already widened these holes a little bit, but I kind of feel like this one just isn't. I also have micro drill bits, so if I needed to, I could always use the micro drill bits, but we're fine. We're fine. Okay, so same thing, glue. Nice line of glue there. I just want to make sure that the angle is right on these. There we go. It's in. Looking at it, it's in. There, felt it on that time. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay. We're going to test fit the other side quick. I think we're going to be okay on that one too. Oops. Yeah, let me grab this just to be on the safe side. There. That's a little better. Okay. Once again, glue. There we go. We are not going to be assembling the interior into the cab yet, because this is going to get painted and that's going to get painted separate, and we're going to do windows in the cab a little bit different. I'll show you how we custom make windows. I have thin clear styrene for that, but we got to paint that thing first. So same thing, we're going to set that over to the side to dry. Last step is we're going to go ahead and just put components on the frame and work through that next steps, and see if I can figure out where this piece goes. I have the fuel tank right here, but then I have a smaller tank that I need to do some investigating on. I think it fits on the frame and towards the back, but I'll take a quick look at that. Anyway, let's work on this part first. So on the frame, this goes, the front axles go all the way at the front. There's like a hair. That sometimes happens too, because I was painting these. Keep reaching for the wrong tweezers. There we go. Okay. All right, glue. And just so you guys know too, I'm probably going to split this video into multiple parts. If you remember, at any of the levels, you will get to see this first and the following parts of it first. The rest of everybody else is going to have to wait a little bit, so you get to be special. That's exciting. Oh man, see that? It stuck to my finger. Okay, so this goes here. That's what I'm trying to get it to do, I should say. Because of this being so thin, resin can move. Like, this isn't like super hard and rigid, so trying to get it to stick right where it needs to go is not an easy task. Let's grab a little more glue. At least have the positions marked now. That's the important thing. Okay, so looking at these, there are rivet marks that you can see here. These actually fit on either side of them. So that's what we're going to do. Can't really tell by the picture what is the best side for the drive shaft. I think it goes this way. Actually, let me look. Since that's the end, no, it goes this way. So we're going to take and we're going to just kind of blanket cover this in some super glue throughout here, and throughout here, just to be on the safe side. That way if we're a little off, kind of no big deal. And then here is our first set of drive wheels, axles, and differential. Throw that on here, and then just kind of force that out and around, just like that. So then that should be on and more or less flush. There, it should look like that. And that's the first one. I did find the piece I accidentally broke off of the back, so we're going to glue that on too. So once again, glue. Wow, I must have got some on my finger. My middle finger stuck to it there. Glue. Okay. And same thing again. This time we're only going to focus on the one side just because I already broke off the other side. Okay, and then let me kind of get this into position. And then I'm going to glue the last piece on that I broke off. And we're going to add some glue onto it like that. Okay, here are here's the tweezers, and the piece I broke off is right here. Once again, super amount of detail. I absolutely love it. This is designed to be printed even all the way up to 1/18 scale, which is huge. I'm probably not going to ever do it that size, but I might do 24 scale sometime. I think it'd be fun. This is, like I said, this is one of my favorite movies, so I wouldn't mind printing it bigger. There we go. Close enough that it will work. Everything's gluing together. Awesome. Okay, now we have fuel tank. Our fuel tank goes on right here, straddling those rivets. So we're going to put that on next. And then the other tank, I think it's another air tank, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me. There we go. Just like that. The other tank goes on the other side, pretty much in the exact same spot. You can see they kind of give you like guide holes for it. It's designed that if you're using filament to print, you can actually, and in the right scale, you can actually use the pieces of filament as guides for helping you put this together, and like a pin basically that will work to glue it together. Wow, I stuck that to my thumb. I knew that would happen. I'd do it the right way. Oops. Yeah, it'd work. Boy, that ended up being more difficult than that should have been. Okay, so back down even with the bed. Just like that. Okay, and then we have the trailer support, which goes on in the middle right here, and that's what our trailer is going to rest on. So looking at that, make sure that it looks okay. It does to me. Wow, I keep knocking that over too. The same thing, line of glue, and this should just sit right on there, just like that. Perfect. Not bad. Not bad. The only other component that we haven't attached is the exhaust stack, which does go here. And so we might just go ahead and glue that on here. Just go ahead and get that taken care of. So let's do that too. So this is designed, it's curved to design around and fit the cab right there. So there's the two curves, the mounting brackets, and then same thing when you grab this, it fits right on here, just like that. There you go. There we go. Okay, so we have the, basically, if you want to call it a kit, we have the kit put together. It's going to look pretty decent, I think, when we get that all on there. I'm really looking forward to it. So here's kind of where that's going to sit. This is all going to look together and go together nicely. Wheels are there, and then trailer, you know, is going to sit on it like that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll show you how to paint it. Be kind of in the next video. I think we need to let the glue dry on all of this before we really start handling stuff. So that's why I'm just taking a break right now. But next video, then we will show you more and continue on with the next steps. It'll be later this week, unless you're a member, and then in that case you probably have access to it now. Cool. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Shout out to the members. Got the first one already, and appreciate you guys and helping grow the channel. We'll see you soon.